being mindful of and attentive to not just asking a question to ask a question.
Or repeating or rehashing what someone else said.
Exactly. And they're like, what?
Yeah. It's that moment, the awkward moment where they look around. Like, okay,
moving on.
Thank you for that, whatever that was. Thank you. Hi, friends. I am so excited to be here with you for another episode of Dear Headspace, a podcast where I sit down with one of our meditation teachers and we answer your questions. Today's episode is all about the workplace. I'm Robin Hopkins, and today I'm with Eve.
You'll pay for that later.
Everything's fine. Take it out of my bill. All right.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Eve.
It's so nice to be in person.
I know. It's so delightful, right?
Yeah. It does make a difference.
I would like to shout out to our production team. I think the content doesn't shift.
No.
But from an experiential point of view, the connection and being able
100%.
to be with you guys, it's so amazing.
Yeah. Not only sharing the experience, but talk through just how things have been going.
Yeah. Water cooler talk. All those interactions that don't happen when you are working out of your bedroom.
Yeah.
Or if I'm speaking in I statements when I'm working out of my bedroom.
Well, when I've been working out of the guest bedroom too.
Yeah. Oh, you have a guest bedroom. Okay. Well, she just had to one up me with the guest bedroom. But no, it's funny that it's funny that you mentioned that, because today's episode is all about the workplace. I have to ask you, before we sort of get into it, I just want to know, what was the worst job that you ever had and why?
Okay, this is a very easy question to answer. Oh. Yeah. So growing up on the west coast of Scotland, some friends of my parents had a smoked salmon fish business.
Oh, no.
So you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
It was they had a smokehouse, and every Christmas it was the busiest time because people would order boxes and hampers and things for the holidays. And all the local kids in the area would get, summoned.
Yeah. Please report to the smokehouse, Eve. Please report.
It was good because it was intense work, 12-hour days, really good money.
Yeah.
Well, not really good money, but for teenagers, great money. And it was freezing cold because they had to keep the fish frozen, and it smelled of smoked fish.
Did you have Vicks in your your nose, nostrils?
The clothing at the end we had to throw away because you just could not get that oily fish smell out. Ugh. No matter what, your skin smelled of fish, your hair smelled of fish. And you were doing it in temperatures, freezing temperatures. So and you couldn't necessarily wear gloves because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the stickers on to label the boxes. Pretty sure it wasn't legal.
It doesn't sound like you should have started a union.
I know.
Little Eve, the union. So. It's funny, I had a job not anywhere near as bad as that, but I forgot about it until you just said that. I picked strawberries in the summer, but it was a quarter a quart. That feels really unfair. Do you know how you had to bend over and pick all those strawberries for $2
by bugs? Yeah. And we did raspberry picking.
I think I ate more strawberries than I picked, but we knew this. All right, well, let's just get to the main event. We've got some questions from our community, and as I mentioned, all of our questions center around the work or the workplace today. Which we spend 40 hours a week, if not more. It's such a big part of our lives that it makes sense that we would be talking about all these questions.
Do you know, I heard another version of that.
Oh, do tell.
Going to be quite shocking. So that equates to, over our lifetime, about 90,000 hours.
Oh my God, that's
which
so
is a
much.
Third of your life. On average.
Now, Eve, I don't know that I ever needed that fact.
I'm sorry.
I
just wanted to be very clear
my soul.
With the data.
You're data-driven today.
Very
I like it.
Very data-driven.
Because your husband's in the Matrix, that's why.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to our first question from Shannon.
Hi, my name is Shannon, and I'm calling from Little Rock, Arkansas. The questions that I have is, I'm a nurse at one of the pediatric hospitals, and I work in the OR. And sometimes it can be very stressful. And I just would love some recommendations on quick, maybe 1 to 2 minute acts of meditation that you can help to ground and calm and balance yourself, regardless of what's going on around you. I have not been practicing meditation long and can't really say that I get it or I'm doing well at it, but I am trying. So I would love some recommendations. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Shannon, that's everything. Like, just, I'm not sure I get it, but I'm trying.
You're showing up.
That's it. That's everything.
That's 100% it.
I mean, that's how I lead my life. I'm not sure I get it, but I'm showing up. So
Exactly. I think it can be so easy to judge yourself about whether you're doing something like meditation right or wrong, or that you're just a successful meditator.
Yeah.
And I always say to folks, the fact that you are intentionally wanting to take care of your mind, that is like 99.9% of it. And that could hopefully then be the motivator to keep you coming back.
Yep.
And there isn't necessarily this idea of right or wrong. People think that they're failing when they meditate because they can't clear the mind.
Right.
And of course, if Shannon's in a really busy, hectic environment and she's juggling multiple plates, I would obviously don't want to put words in her mouth, but maybe that's where some of that feeling like she's failing is coming from. And of course, time. And I just love the fact that she's saying, what can I do in the moment?
Yeah.
Because there is so much you can do.
Let's talk about that. Like, what can she do? Like, does she need to hide in a closet? You know, are there things she can do?
No one should hide in a closet.
Yeah. I spent some time there. It wasn't some of my best years.
But no one should have to.
But we're past that now. But what I mean is, like, are there things, like, because I'm thinking of a variety of Shannon's day and everybody's day. Like, what can you do in short bursts? What can you do when you have a little more time? Like, lay it out there for us, Eve.
So there's a really great technique, which I regularly do myself, often 2 or 3 times a day, and it's called S.T.O.P. And you can literally do this no matter what you're doing, whether you're in an OR, whether you're at your desk. And in fact, this exercise you can do quite literally. No one needs to know you're doing it. So I'll walk through. So the S stands for stop.
Yeah.
So just momentarily stop or pause. The T is for take a breath or 2 or 3. So again, no one necessarily needs to know that you're doing this. Just slow, deep breath in, deep breath out. Mm-hmm. And then the O is just to observe briefly, like check in. How are you doing? Check in with the body. Of course, when we're anxious, when we're stressed, it might feel quite physical. A slow, deep breathing helps to calm the nervous system. Yep. So you can just genuinely come back into this moment. And then that gives you a little bit of space, even if it's just a couple of seconds, to decide how you move forward. So the P is for proceed. So that gives you maybe just 10 seconds, 20 seconds to just have a pause and to decide how you move forward.
Yeah.
And so, stop is for stop. T is for take a breath or 2 or 3. O is for observe, check in, and P is for proceed. Like yesterday, wasn't having a great day. I had some difficult news from home, and it was just one of those days where it felt like one thing was building on the next and the next. And then I came to need to print something.
Oh no.
And I couldn't print. The printer wasn't connecting.
This is the moment where my head pops off.
Yeah. It was almost like it flashed kind of between, in front of my eyes. I was like, I either throw this at the wall, the printer, which would not have been helpful, or I just literally stop.
Yeah.
Just take some breaths and just recognize, okay, today is a crappy day, but it's not going to feel like this for forever.
Yeah.
And then I was able to disconnect it, calmly read through the instructions. And then I got it working. And then I got it working. And then I felt very proud of myself for not completely freaking out.
Yeah.
And I felt much better.
Yeah.
So that is something that I just cannot recommend enough.
Yeah.
You could, in the OR, you could maybe recommend it to other doctors, other nurses, other assistants in the OR. In a stressful environment like that, it's a really good idea that everyone's focused and calm.
Yep.
And maybe that's something you could start before the operation or the procedure takes place, just as a way to collectively put down anything else.
Yeah.
Because your sole focus really does need to be on what's happening.
I just had a vision of Shannon leading the surgeon and the doctors in a meditation like before we hit record on Dear Headspace.
Go for it, Shannon.
Could you imagine? That would be amazing.
I mean, we've got some really short exercises, like 1 minute, 2 minute SOS meditations, actually, which, again, if you felt comfortable, that's the thing with practices like this, you can do them on the go.
Yeah.
I think, of course, there is a time and a place for a seated, more formal meditation, which is maybe 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But these short practices, doing them in little bursts regularly, actually just reinforces the technique more often than doing one 15-minute session once a week, which can then feel, if you don't do it, you're like, I didn't do it, I'm failing. And so the next practice is a loving kindness practice. And this is where you offer really kind and friendly and supportive phrases to yourself, to other people. So, for example, you could start with yourself, may I take care of this patient. May I take care of myself. May I breathe when I need to. Just little reminders that it's okay to take a pause. May I be well. May I be as at ease as I'm able to be, given that it's a very high stress environment. And then you can just say these under your breath. Nobody needs to know. And then a lovely opportunity to send good wishes to the patient and send good wishes to the rest of the team. So may we all take care of this patient. May we all be present. May we all be kind to each other. And the most amazing thing, though, Shannon, is that you seem very aware that you don't want it to get to that point. Please take care of yourself. And if you start to feel a little bit of burnout creeping in, listen to that.
And again, like Eve said it at the top, but I'll echo it. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. And thanks for giving us this question. This was a really wonderful question.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you, Shannon.
All right, so let's go to our next question from Sophia.
Hi, my name's Sophia, and I've just started my first job post-graduation with a company that I really like. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. I guess I'm just having a hard time finding the courage to speak up on things and give my input and ideas in meetings. I guess I know I'm not as experienced as my colleagues who have been in the industry for so many years, but I would like to feel valued and like my voice matters. I'd love any suggestions on how to cultivate more courage at work. Thank you.
Well, Sophia, I love this question. And it's such a good question because it is a fine line, right? You, like, when you come into a job, you don't want to be the person who's just like bulldozing and being like, my opinion matters, but you like, because you want to listen to what's happening and learn the culture, but you also want to feel like you are valuable and that you have things to offer. And and I would want Sophia to claim her space in the world and to claim her, to believe that her voice matters and that she has every right to speak into it.
Yeah, I remember being a newbie, and it's on the one hand, you're really excited because you have this new job. And Sophia, I have to say, I was so happy to hear you say that you love your job, because my first job out of college, I definitely did not love.
Ditto. I did not love mine either.
So that's really special, actually.
Yeah.
Many people don't. So that's awesome. A lots to work with there. But that feeling of coming in, especially if you maybe aren't naturally outspoken and find it easy to be confident, that's something I've definitely had to work at over the years. And so I really do feel that unease and that sense of nervousness.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a few things that you can do to work up this feeling of courage and confidence. A mentor said to me once, practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
If you are feeling nervous about speaking out or raising a point, rehearse and write out what you want to say before. Of course, don't just then go and blurt out in a meeting.
I've got things to say.
Timing is obviously is important, but maybe start in a smaller environment. Is there a smaller team meeting, or perhaps discuss with your manager or your boss, like, what are some ways that I can be impactful with the team? And so asking questions is really important. So mindful listening. And again, being mindful of and attentive to not just asking a question to ask a question.
Yes.
Because that definitely can happen when we're nervous.
Yeah.
We just want to say something and it's kind of off topic. And I've definitely been there. And everyone's
or
like,
repeating or rehashing what someone else said.
Exactly. And they're like, what?
Yeah. It's that moment, the awkward moment where they look around. Okay,
moving on.
Thank you for that, whatever that was. Thank you.
So, start small. Perhaps have a discussion with your manager or someone that you get on really well with, that you trust. Maybe get a sense of the different characters in the team. Like,
observe,
just really being a mindful observer, because when we want to make an impact and we want to have our voice heard, often that can override us being aware and attentive.
Yeah.
Because we've got this like very focused, goal-orientated thing that we want to do, and don't necessarily consider the timing, or is this the right moment to bring this up? And so looking for moments in smaller groups where you can feel you can build some relationships up.
Yeah.
And also just practice speaking out and getting comfortable with that.
That's fantastic. Because I do think that one of the things that we're talking about here is imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And, like I've said this before, I host another podcast called Well Adjusting. And on an episode recently, we had an expert of the day who mentioned this whole thing. She said, remember that you were hired for a particular reason.
Yes.
There was something about you that they saw in you. They saw your skill set, they saw your future, and they brought you in. So remember that and get back to that level of confidence of, oh yeah, they brought me in. And adding onto your observer point of view, or your observer point, there's like, look for people who have what you want. They always say that in 12-step rooms, like look around the room and look for people who have what you want, and then, befriend those people. So you can do unofficial mentoring with people, just asking people what they do, and see who, like, I like how that person was in that meeting.
Yeah.
They listened, but when they spoke, they gave great information, and become an expert in your material.
Yeah.
And you are an expert, believe in your expertise, and look for as you said, the right moment to share it. But I think look for mentors. You don't have to tell them if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to be like, I'd like you to be a mentor. It doesn't have to be formal.
Yeah.
It can just be, could we grab lunch? And then, well, how did you get to where you are? And just learn everything you can. And I think that helps build that confidence to speak.
Yeah. And also I think, generally speaking, if you're working at a company, you're all on the same team.
Yeah.
There's this idea that it's, one against one and competitive, which I know can be.
I was going to say some businesses, but yeah.
It can be a factor. I do appreciate that. But at the end of the day, do you not want everyone to succeed? And so having, you're talking of your boss like that, those are the moments where someone said to me once, always hire people who are better than you.
Yes.
And there's so much in that. It's not about them coming in and wanting to take your job, but not only if they are truly better at you in some things, that will make your job
shine,
easier.
And you shine.
And I think so many people struggle with delegating.
Yes.
And when people come in, it can feel like they're stealing my work.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, you hired this person so that they could help you take things off your plate so that you're maybe not as stressed and worried and anxious and all the feels. And so let that happen.
Yeah.
Encourage that and mentor them and guide them. And so, Sophia, wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
The fact that you have so much awareness around this, I have no doubt that you'll be successful in your role.
Yeah. And
really
listen to what Eve said to Shannon. use the stop practice
Yes.
before meetings.
Exactly.
In the
yeah.
hallway, in the elevator, like do all those
Why are you
short-term
whispering?
things. I don't know, because I felt like I'm stealing from Shannon for Sophia, and it got weird.
You can shout about it.
Nobody wants me to shout. It's fine. Let's not.
But that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because these are techniques not just for the OR, for any situation.
Yeah.
And often before I say giving a talk or doing anything like this, I'll maybe take myself outside or in the car before I walk in. I'll just, like we did a meditation before we started.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Everyone has 2 minutes.
Sophia's going to be our boss in like 6 months. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our next question.
Hi there, my name is Ruth and I'm calling from Dakar, Senegal. I'm currently working with a large international organization for about 2 years. I feel like I'm learning and growing a lot, but also at the same time, I'm struggling a lot, and I think I'm getting angrier at the bureaucracy and at some people who are rooted deep in that bureaucracy. And I was just wondering whether you can help me identify whether I'm just growing through struggle or whether I'm burning out, because I'm now at a crossroad where I need to decide whether I want to stay with this organization or I want to move on. Any advice would be most welcome. Thank you.
Oh, Ruth, thank you for this question. I'm actually geez, whoever wrote this script is really smart. Producer Ash. I love that this question is coming next, because you alluded to it in the last question about Headspace is a delightful company where everyone's very mindful and there's all these things, but not every company is like that. There are many companies where there's bureaucracy, a lot of unhappy people, and that may be where your job is.
You know, when we are taken out of our comfort zone and we're learning and growing, that can feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like it definitely won't feel easy. So I'm obviously don't know your situation in depth, but it could be a bit of both.
I was just going to say that. There's a lot going on in this question. It's like you can be growing and uncomfortable, and it might not be the right fit for you at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've worked at organizations where there is just so much red tape and the hoops that you have to jump through. And that really does over time wear you down.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the larger the organization, the more of that there tends to be, just because there's so many more steps.
Yeah.
Because there's so many more people. And so I don't know the size of the company, Ruth, but if you're feeling like there might be a little bit of burnout, there probably is.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that it's at a point where it's just becoming a thing, and you're not like so far down.
Too far past it.
I was reading the other day, and this was before the pandemic, in 2019, the World Health Organization officially declared burnout as a workplace syndrome.
Oh.
And now the term burnout's been around, I think, since the 50s. I'm pretty sure it's since the 50s. And we actually did a video series with a neuroscientist called Dr. Sahar Youssef. And she did a lot of things around workplace well-being, burnout, resilience. And she described there's 3 ways in which you can help to manage burnout. So she describes them as taking macro breaks, meso breaks, and micro breaks. And so the macro is, can you allocate like 1 to 2 days a month time off?
Yeah.
Because often when we start to feel some burnout creeping out, we suddenly realize, when was the last time I actually took some time off?
Right.
But actually took time off, because often you might take a holiday or vacation, but be on your email.
Or doing doctor's appointments and all that
well,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or caring for a sick parent or whatever it is. Or, there's a lot of ways in which our time is needed. So can you prioritize yourself for a day, a couple of days a month. The meso break was, I think she talked about that as around about half a day a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you may have to still be a little bit available, but can you say on a Friday afternoon where it's no meetings?
Yeah.
And start to just scale back and help you wind down before the weekend so that you're not taking the whole week with you. And then the micro is looking for those little micro breaks like we were talking earlier in your day. Is that a 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute walk outside? Can you actually stop and have lunch?
Yeah.
Because the thing with burnout is the signs that you're potentially burning out might be some cynicism, negativity, feeling complete emotional overwhelm, not being able to feel like you can manage and cope with your workload. And of course, in an environment where there is a lot of hoops and a lot of bureaucracy, that can build up over time. So say you're trying to get a project over the line, several projects maybe, and there's someone in your team who, as you were talking about, Roth, is perhaps very caught up and tied up in the politics. That can make your job very difficult. So if you're starting to sense that you're really dreading going to work and that anytime anyone says anything, you're feeling very negative or critical or just generally feeling quite cynical.
That's fantastic. And I think that really addresses like a good portion of the question about just like his state. But I think underneath that, he starts off the question talking about the bureaucracy, the coworkers, the situation. And then he kind of like comes in at the end and is talking about like, I'm not sure if it's time for me to move on.
Right.
And I think what's really interesting based on what you're saying is like, it's almost like, have you ever heard that whole thing of like, when you start to feel thirsty, it means you're already dehydrated?
Yeah.
So it's like, your first piece was so important. It's the triage. It's the you're burned out. Let's get you back to a baseline because I don't know that if you're in a position where you're feeling all burned out, that you're going to be in the best mental space to be like, is this the job for me?
Right.
Do I want to be here? So it's almost like prioritizing, starting with seeing if you can get yourself like your nervous system calmed down, your body more rested, so that you then can start to vision, to journal, to talk to people and start to question like, okay, if I were to stay here, like I love the exercise of looking at my life and going, all right, I'm at a fork in the road. And if I stay here for a year, what does my life look like? If I leave, what does it look like? What are the pros? What are the cons? What are the things that come up for me? And like when you're rested, you can be in that space.
Yes, because otherwise you're in possible danger of making like a rash decision. Because when we're in a constant state of stress or worry or anxiety or fear, that takes a huge toll on the mental but physical body as well, because the body's in a constant state of high alert.
Yeah.
In the brain, when the stress response is activated, it means that the sort of rational, clear planning part of the brain is somewhat offline, if not all the way offline.
And your emotions are heightened.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at a 7, like I made a phone call yesterday. Like I was so exhausted because we've been here all week recording. And I made a phone call yesterday I probably shouldn't have made because I was mad and I thought of it later. I was like, I think you're tired. And I think maybe that was a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah.
Sorry to the person who took that call.
But that happens to everyone.
Yeah.
And when we are up against it and stressed and tired and worn out, we will snap.
Yeah.
We'll be on a short fuse. Of course, you may not always be in a situation where you can explain what's going on. And so I think going back to your point around like, is this the right place for me? Prioritizing your well-being right now so that you can actually have some space to ask yourself a question like, am I fulfilled in what I do?
Yeah.
And most importantly, what support do I need to be successful?
Yeah.
If you're feeling in your gut, this is just not it's not in support of my values. This is not really what I want to be doing. Listen to that.
Yeah.
But the only way you'll be able to do that is if you give yourself a bit of space.
Absolutely.
To recoup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Roth. And I don't know, all these questions feel prime to keep us posted and let us know how it's going, how it went.
Yeah. Like Sophia, let us know how it goes presenting at your first big meeting. And Roth, please do stay in touch. And also Shannon, would love to know how that really does, how you can apply those practices in the OR. And the difference it can make. So.
I want her to send a video of her doing a meditation in the elevator on her way up to work and send us a video.
Okay. There's a job for you, Shannon, because you don't have enough to do already.
I'm all the time giving everybody homework. Shannon's like, I just wanted a couple techniques, Robin. Bring it down a notch.
Film yourself, send it.
If you could light it, edit it, write the script, and then send it back to me. Thanks, Shannon. Good luck. As always, Eve, I mean, that was... I thank you for all the wisdom that you just shared. I think that's going to be so helpful to everyone.
And of course, many, many little exercises like our SOS sessions, our mini meditations, which are perfect for just before a meeting, in between a meeting, even at the end of your day. Can you actually put a break? Can you put a stop between the workday and your evening? And of course, if you are a shift worker, that will look very differently for you.
Yeah.
But can you mark the end of the workday?
Yeah.
Because
I love that.
I think for those who are still working at home, particularly if you're working out of bedroom, guest bedroom, whatever it is, you're still in a bedroom.
Wait, there she is with the guest bedroom again, you guys. Just throwing her guest bedroom in my face. Hey, Eve.
It's very small.
I've got my guest hallway, Eve. So you're always welcome to stay there. I love it. All this is fantastic. And I just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to our callers, Shannon, Sophia, and Roth, for your questions. They were just wonderful.
And recently, we launched a referral program, so you can actually send Headspace to your friends.
Oh, I love this.
So that is also really cool.
All the friends you know that need it.
Exactly. All the people in your team.
It's sort of like not how it's supposed to work, but it's like... And till next time, stay happy, stay healthy.
And be kind to yourself and each other.